핵심 교통수단입니다. 기후위기 극복을 위해 탄소 배출량이 승용차에 비해 6분의 1 정도에 불과한 저탄소 친환경 전기철도 차량의 도입을 우리나라는 계속해서 확대하고 있습니다. 아울러 친환경 철도 인프라를 구축하고 4차 산업기술을 접목하는 등 새로운 시도도 계속해서 하고 있습니다. 하지만 북한으로 인해 우리나라는 한반도를 넘어 유라시아로 가는 꿈을 아직까지 실현 못하고 있습니다. 북한을 통해 유라시아까지 우리나라의 철도가 정말로 연결된다면 무한한 가능성이 있을 것입니다. 이렇게 무한한 가능성이 있는 한국의 철도에 대해 해외에서는 과연 어떤 평가를 내릴까요? 레일웨이스 익스플레인드는 철도 실무경험이 있는 전문가들이 세계 여러 나라의 철도들에 대해 분석을 하는 곳입니다. 각 국가별 철도 시스템에 대한 지식과 아이디어, 정보를 낱낱이 살피는 곳인데 최근 이곳에서 한국의 철도에 대해 자세히 다룬 적이 있습니다. 해외 유명 철도 전문가들이 보는 한국의 철도는 어떠한지 한번 보시겠습니다.
We were lucky enough that one of the members of the Railways Explained team visited Korean railways back in 2019. He was a participant in the seminar of railway infrastructure specialists in Seoul, so we can share some first-hand experiences and impressions of the Korean rail system and the journey with a high-speed train from Seoul to Busan, as well as Incheon Airport Maglev. An important fact to keep in mind is that after the division into two Koreas, in terms of transport connections, South Korea has practically become an island. As after 1948, the South Korean government slowly began to manage its railways. In order to ensure even more independent management, in 1963, it founded the Korea National Railroad. Bearing in mind how devastated South Korea was due to the wars, the then government adopted the concept of the 5-year economic and social development plans. These plans were designed to increase wealth within the South Korea and strengthen political stability. A change in policy from import substitution industrialization to export-oriented growth occurred throughout these 5-year plans, and the result is better known by the term the miracle on the Han River. This term refers to the period of rapid economic growth of South Korea in those years. With average speeds of 60 to 70 kilometers per hour during the 1960s, trains were the primary mode of transportation in South Korea. However, at the time, the government embarked on building highways as a new transport wonder, and it opened the Seoul-Incheon Highway in 1969 and the Seoul-Busan Highway in 1970. As we already mentioned, the economic growth of South Korea in the past decades increased both the mobility of people and the demand for efficient transport services. Given the trend of high-speed rail construction at the time, in March 1992, the Korean government created the Korea High-Speed Rail Construction Authority to oversee the construction of the famous Gyeongbu high-speed railway between Seoul and Busan. The ministry's goal was to end the state-owned Korail's monopoly and create competition for the state-run KTX trains, hoping to increase the quality of service and decrease fares. In any case, SR's high-speed rail services were launched from Seoul's Susao station in 2016, thus introducing competition in the Korean railway market. South Korea has a total railway network of 4,285 kilometers. It connects all major cities and 2,790 kilometers are double-track. The length of high-speed railway lines on which trains can run at speeds of 300 km per hour or more on the majority of tracks is about 630 kilometers. Namely, in 2017, the commercial use of LTE 4G technology on the railway network was introduced on the Wongju-Gyeongnam high-speed rail line. Also, South Korea is home to the world's fourth longest railway tunnel. The tunnel, 50.3 kilometers long, which consists of a double-track tube, is a part of the 61.1 kilometers Susao-Pyeongtaek high-speed railway that connects Susao station in the southeastern part of Seoul with the Gyeongbu high-speed railway. The tunnel itself takes up about 82% of the total line length. In addition, South Korea has developed in-house maglev technology that is in commercial use in Daejeon and Incheon Airport. South Korea has a population of 52 million people and is characterized by a high population density of 507 inhabitants per kilometer squared. In 2019, about 163.5 million people, or 448,000 people per day, were transported by rail. Of these 163.5 million passengers, about 55% were transported by high-speed trains, or 66.6 million passengers, with services provided by Core Rail, and 23.3 million with services provided by SR. 698 stations are under the jurisdiction of Core Rail, and only 3 stations are under the jurisdiction of SR Corporation. The importance of the corridor between Seoul and Busan can be emphasized by the frequency of train departures. Namely, in 2019, between Seoul and Busan, 105 KTX trains organized by Korail and 80 SRT trains organized by SR Corporation were in operation every day. By the way, during 2019, there were about 3,300 trains on all lines every day. This photo of a timetable was taken by our colleague in Seoul. As for the tons transported, they have been declining in the last few years. During 2019, 28.6 million tons were transported. We must emphasize that all this is domestic transport, bearing in mind that there is no international traffic due to the situation with North Korea. If there was a possibility for international traffic, these numbers would be much higher since South Korea has great potential primarily due to its developed industry. After all, it is a seat of large corporations such as Samsung, Hyundai, Kia, LG, etc. One piece of information that many people don't know, Korea's largest construction companies include Samsung C&T Corporation, which built some of the tallest buildings and most noteworthy skyscrapers in the world, such as Petronas Towers, Taipei 101, and Burj Khalifa. In addition, South Korea initiated the connection of railways and roads with North Korea on December 26, 2018. A groundbreaking ceremony was held in the North Korean city of Kaesong as a mark of the start of the project. With the completion of this inter-Korean railway project, which includes the construction of the missing links, the connection of Busan and Europe by rail will be possible. Whether this will be the case, time will tell. On January